Hey yo, Champion just put out a new campaign paying homage to the world of streetwear. It's a super dope one. Let's talk about it. Hey, what up, y'all? Back again with another episode of Beats and Billboards. And like I said, Champion has a new campaign called No Permission, and it's paying homage to the world of streetwear. So, for a little bit of background, right? When you think about streetwear and apparel lines, some of y'all may have friends or family who are getting into the space, and they need something called blanks to get started. So, this hoodie would be considered a blank if it didn't have the Nike logo on it, right? T-shirts, sweatpants, they need stuff that has nothing on it so that they can print their own designs on it. Now, there are a couple different brands people go to get blanks. I won't mention them because it's not about them in this video, but one place people go is Champion, right? So when you see people get hoodies for blanks, when you see them get their sweaters or sweatpants, a lot of times they're using Champion. Even in the down to the mock-ups, they're using Champion, right? So pivoting on this unique cultural insight, Champion came out with the No Permission collection. Now, this is part of a larger global campaign that they have called What Moves You. And according to, I believe, Marketing Dive, they describe it as a campaign that is a rallying cry for creatives across the world to craft with purpose. So for the What Moves You campaign, the bigger global campaign that this is part of, they actually highlighted creators from across the world. They gave them, I believe, $50,000 and some blanks to go ahead and get started with their apparel brand. And it was a pretty dope thing. So now they're doing that again, honing in more specifically on the US with the No Permission collection. So what we talked about before with the blanks, right? Think about Pyrex. Think about BAPE. Think about Supreme. A lot of their early clothing was actually made with blanks, right? They actually used a lot of Champion material to get where they're at today. So for the experiential piece of this campaign, the good people over at Champion actually have an exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum that highlights some of the early designs from people like Virgil Abloh, which is a super dope touch, right? Really ingrains them in the world of streetwear. It's honestly a 10 out of 10. I think it should get nominated for a Cannes Award, this whole campaign, but another story for another day. Now, earlier, I talked about how this is part of a larger global campaign from Champion, and that campaign is called What Moves You. Now, if you go on a website like Marketing Dive or like Ad Age, they describe this campaign as a rallying cry for creatives across the world, and they want them to craft with purpose. So what they did for the What Moves You campaign is they highlighted 6 creators across the world, basically gave them some funds, and they gave them some Champion blanks and told them to go crazy and make some designs that were really cool. And I think they even highlighted those too. Lastly, there is a social component to this that is really dope that I think people should really know about, and it's a scavenger hunt. Apparently, as part of this campaign, Champion put some of the No Permission collection pieces in the wild, and they used influencers to kind of seed it, to give clues, to let people know where to go to look for the pieces. Because yes, there are actual pieces of this collection. If I'm not mistaken, they're the pieces that are designed by the creators being highlighted. But with that said, what I think marketers can learn from this is very simple. And I think it's the fact that you don't have to be afraid of being someone's stepping stone to greatness. I think a lot of brands like to think of themselves as like the destination for culture or for artists. So when you think of them as like, hey, maybe you're not the ending part, like maybe you're more of a challenger than the actual iconic whatever, they get a little fearful of that. But I think brands who really lean into the fact that maybe you start with us but you don't end with us, I think they reap more of the benefits because they're being more honest about who they are as a brand. So when you think about Hinge, for example, Hinge has this tagline in this creative platform of their design to be deleted. I think that's genius because respectfully to them, nobody's probably trying to stay on Hinge forever. They're trying to find their partner and move on to the next thing. So to really lean into that insight and make it a creative platform, people respect the honesty. Consumers respect that, and it elevates the brand. The work lives longer. Everyone's happy. I think the same thing is happening here with Champion, the No Permission collection. On one hand, creators don't really ask for permission when they're first getting started because they don't have the bread. They just make it happen because that's what you have to do as a creator. You have to make it happen. On the flip side of that, right, when these brands get established, when fashion apparel brands reach a certain height, now they have access to new designers, they have access to factories, they have access to what some may say are higher quality fabrics and whatnot. So maybe they're not using Champion blanks anymore because now they have more resources. to lean into that and say, hey, that's okay. We're going to help the next generation of creatives, and maybe they might move on from us too. That's a stroke of marketing genius. And it shows that they're not afraid to own what people know about them. I think as long as you do that, and as long as you keep it honest, you'll be able to push your brand to the next level. But don't pretend to be something you're not, because people aren't dumb. Consumers are not dumb. They recognize what you are to them, and it's up to us as marketers and brand stewards to recognize what people think of the brands that we work with. So with that said, hey, this campaign is a 10 out of 10. Hey, don't be surprised if you see some SNOBHOP apparel pop up pretty soon. And of course, you know I'm probably going to be using some Champion blanks. So I'm, just saying. But with that said, this is another episode of Beats and Billboards. This is about no permission from Champion. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.